In the town of Limon, Colorado, there is a small railroad museum that I stopped by in 2019. This Milwaukee Road RPO is number 2758 and was built in 1937, probably for the Hiawatha. It was later given this end platform for branch line service. Also on display is Union Pacific CA9 caboose number 25670. This blue dining car was originally built for the Great Northern in 1914. In about the late 1980s, this car as well as all the others on display were given to the museum. There are also some other passenger cars that were part of an excursion train which have since been sold. In the background of the previous image, there's this stopgate that protected rail-rail crossovers. Also on display at the Depot Museum are these assortment of signals. The depot itself is a 1910 Chicago Rock Island and Pacific depot. There are some exhibits at an N-scale layout inside, but it wasn't open during my visit. Parked away from the railroad depot and the rest of the cars, and closer to the main museum and its gardens, is this Rock Island snowplow. Rock Island snowplow 95580 was converted in 1950 from a steam locomotive tender. It also spent its working life on the Union Pacific. After a restoration in 2018, this car was put on the National Register of Historic Places. These freight cars are not part of the museum, but are part of the Kyle Railroad interchange with the Union Pacific. East of Limon, the Kyle Railroad parallels I-70 for quite a bit, and you can usually see some hopper cars in storage on here. Now we move on into later in the same trip to Central City, Colorado. Central City is filled with a lot of historic buildings. And the name of the bus service is the Blackhawk and Central City Tramway. The name is a reference to the Gilpin Tramway, which served a gold mine in the area. Outside the Grand Z Casino is Colorado and Southern Steam Locomotive number 71. This locomotive was put on display in 1896 and was saved in 1941 when the trackage was abandoned. On display at the old depot for many years and restored to steam in the 1980s. After the depot where it was displayed got sold to a new owner, the train was moved to the casino site in the 1990s. Also on display with number 71 is Colorado and Southern Combination car number 20. This car was donated with the Locomotive 71 in 1941. There used to be a gondola car with this train, but that became part of the Georgetown Loop Railroad. Down in Blackhawk is Colorado Central number 71. This Baldwin 280 was built in 1911 for a railroad in Mexico. From the 1960s to the 1980s, CYZ number 12 had many owners in California before ending up in Palmer Lake, Colorado. This locomotive was moved to Blackhawk and numbered 71 in the 2000s. In Idaho Springs, Colorado, 280 number 60 is on display. This 280 was built by the Rhode Island Locomotive Works, which later became a part of Alco in 1886. This engine originally worked on Union Pacific's other narrow gauge line, the Utah Northern, but was moved to the CNS by the 20th century. This locomotive has been on display in Idaho Springs since probably 1941 or the 1950s. I also noticed the cylinders have the number 2174. I'm not sure of the significance of that. There have been plans to restore this locomotive to operation on the Georgetown Loop Railroad, but so far no work has gone ahead. I could only get a view inside the cab on the fireman's side. I'm not sure what this compartment above the firebox door is for. Also on display with locomotive number 60 is passenger car number 70, which was built in 1896. This St. Charles Coach Company car is currently being restored at the Georgetown Loop Railroad. When I drove by Idaho Springs in July 2021, this passenger car wasn't there. As you can see in this image, the paint is quite faded. I don't know of any plans to run this car on the Georgetown Loop Railroad. That does it for this short video. Thank you for watching.